Hey, and we are live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Groove.AI Live. And my name is Nick Lakhani, and I'm going to run this session with you. Now, one of the things that we want to do is with the Groove.AI Live is to actually go and give you something a little different to what you've been getting from this channel and maybe even others, and also to help educate you or train you or to inspire you or to motivate you to do certain things with AI. And today is no different. So therefore, if I can just explain a few things about what I'd like to do with this series. And this is definitely not a one-off. I've been on these channels probably before Christmas. I've taken a little break from it. Now I'm back. And one of the things that what really gets me is that I'm a specialist in courses and online courses and communities. And if you don't know me, I am part of the Groove Asia expansion project. I'm VP of Tech, and one of the things that I do over there is I've done a whole series on courses and communities, how to think about things, about creating those kind of things, but generally about business as well. And one of the things that it occurred to me today was that we want to do a lot of technical stuff and use AI to help us do that. But we also, one of the ways I use it, and I've used it in the past as a coach and a consultant, and I used it this morning with a family member and with helping them out with a particular problem, is we can actually get some of our mindset impacted in a positive manner using Groove.AI. Let me explain. What I did was, and I'll share my screen on here. What I did was I created this idea of courses and communities, and one of the things that I did was to actually have, if I show you on the screen here, actually have the ability to look at 6 or 7 major areas on here, and I did a 20-week session on that, I believe. And so, for example, I looked at mindset, marketing, course creation, technology, community building, business, and exit strategy. Well, Nick, what's that got to do with AI? Well, one of the things that you can do is to actually cover those areas and help you with the thinking elements using AI. So let me explain. If I look at mindset, for example, and if I open that out to core skills and self-assessment. Okay, and so one of the things I did for the first 2 shows that I ran, I did core skills and self-assessment, and I talked through the kind of things that you should be looking for. You should ask yourself. You should go and do some exercises and so on self-assessment, for example. And looking at self-assessment in particular, these are the 5 areas that I looked at in particular: understanding your strengths and weaknesses, risk tolerance, assessing problem-solving skills, determining your level of self-discipline, and also a passion for entrepreneurship. Well, where is it that you can actually answer these questions? Well, you know, you've got your friends, you've got your family, you've got people around you, you've got colleagues, you've got you may have professional advice, you may have a business mentor or a coach in order to actually run your business. You may belong to a mastermind program or to some sort of coaching program. You may belong to networking groups, BNI, and other examples that are common throughout the world. So therefore, you have various ways in which you can actually gauge this type of information. But most of us don't actually really think about this, do we? Sometimes a lot of people are forced into business because a lot of people go into business because they have brilliant ideas. They're driven. They have vision. They can act on the vision and then create an output that is beneficial to groups of people or to the world at large, right? sometimes people are forced into business because of redundancy or lack of opportunity or various different circumstances. It's easier to work for yourself than it is to go and work for some. Well, not necessarily. However, what I want to do is to ask you, I mean, you may already be highly successful in your business, no problem. Well, ask yourself, did you go through this exercise before you started? Most people, we just say, hey, I need to get an income. I don't seem to be getting anywhere with the job that thought I was going to get when I graduated college or university, and therefore I've got to go and make a difference. I've got to make an impact. I've got to make things happen myself. Great, but we never spend time thinking about some of these things and go back and assess our skills. And as I said, for many years I was a professional trainer. I was a college lecturer. Now, when I say college lecturer, let me make it very clear. In the UK, we call college as in 16 to 18-year-olds, and I also taught adults as well. It's not university, okay? So let me be very clear on that, very transparent on that. But I was a college lecturer. I always wanted to go and be ahead of the curve. I always wanted my students to think. I always wanted to equip them with the skills and also the knowledge as to not only how to use the skills, but why they should use these skills, these things that they're learning. I didn't just do things because it said so in the curriculum, because it was a tick in the box saying, hey, I've covered it. I've never gone along with that. I always ask, if I say to you today that I'm going to show you an example of how to use Groove.AI as a kind of, you want to use a T word now, therapist, maybe? I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Dr. Lisa's in the chat. So Dr. Lisa, put in hashtag live. If whoever's watching in the chat, put in hashtag live. Let's have a conversation here. I think I need a little bit of assistance from the chat. One of the things that I'm going to do, I'm going to show you that I use Groove.AI for is a kind of like I'm talking to a professional. Okay. So this story I started off with a family member, maybe one of my children, and don't worry, she's not watching, is having some issues, and her head's full of stuff, full of self-doubt, full of too much information. She can't really explain to me what the issues are. And so I literally showed her how to use ChatGPT to get it to ask her questions so that she would calm down and breathe and lay out what the issues are, what she's having difficulty with, and get ChatGPT to go into more detail and ask her follow-up questions. Okay? Well, this is the kind of thing that I do with entrepreneurs. Well, I'm not sure I can do this. I'm not, we're never sure. Very few entrepreneurs are ever sure they're going to be 100% successful. And usually, they are, a lot of people are successful, but not in what they thought they would be. Okay? So one of the things that I do when I'm helping people create their courses, and hi to Venus Mana, M-A-N-A, from London, Dr. Lisa's live. And so one of the things that I do is to go to people, and I mentioned this in here, didn't I? The idea that we want to look at what your core skills are, identify expertise, and we maybe next week I can look at one of these and pull something out of there. Today, I just want to focus on the first thing, understanding your strengths and weaknesses. Now, the reason I'm doing that is not just to tick a box, okay? We got that now, right? I'm not ticking any boxes here. what I want to do is to make you think. And also, I want you to put things down in an honest manner. Nobody else is going to see this, by the way. Nobody checks your work. Teacher doesn't check your work with this. All right? It's all down to you. I want you to think about your strengths and weaknesses in terms of creating a business, or creating an online course, or creating a new product, or starting the network marketing, or starting with the white label, Groove white label. Fantastic. I want you to assess your strengths and weaknesses. Okay? I want you to think, and Groove.AI is a great place to help you think. Therefore, I'm going to look at understanding strengths and weaknesses. I'm going to be on stream here, hopefully, regularly, probably every week. And I'll be looking at certain aspects of things that I've looked at previously on the Groove Asia YouTube channel. You can check me out on there in terms of the GLU, that's the Groove Leaders Unite series. And there'll be a playlist with some of my things on there, and we have lots of other fabulous speakers and speakers and trainers on there as well, and many of which you've seen on this channel. Okay, now, in the thing that we have at hand at the moment is I want to look at this idea that we're going to use Groove.AI, and I want to go and let's just go to a brand new one there. Okay, so I'm going to show you my screen. We're going to go to Groove.AI, and with this, hopefully you're able to read this. We're going to start a new conversation. Let me just rename this, and I'm going to call this XXX. That's the trial. Okay, so with this new conversation, as you can see, I've switched off the output window. I don't need that. I'm talking to my therapist. I'm talking to my business consultant. I'm talking to my business mentor. And as far as ChatGPT or Groove.AI can be neutral, right, for want of a better word, then that's who I've got. At least this way, it won't be your best friend who's going to say, yeah, you can do anything. Yes, but I want to do something. What can I do? No, you can do anything, Nick. But what does that mean? It doesn't mean much, because your friends and family love you. What ChatGPT and through Groove.AI does, it gives you a reasonably balanced, as far as it can be, reasonably balanced view that is not predicated on any kind of emotion to you. It is going to be supportive, and we can make some of the settings be a little bit more enthusiastic or amenable or conversational, perhaps. We can make it more abrupt even if we wanted to, but probably not the best idea. Therefore, let me show you what I've done on here. I've just got a brand new chat over here. The AI service I'm choosing, it's 3.5 Turbo, very basic, nothing fancy with that. I'm not using any knowledge base on here. I've not got any presets on here at all. And optimize for example, it's the default temperature, etc., on here. Format, default, nothing so special on here. On that, so let's just go through the tone and style. Now I have made a couple of changes on here. So what I've done is I've got engaging, professional, thought-provoking, empathetic tone. The style of which conversational, again, informative. Do I want instructive? Do I want ChatGPT or the Groove.AI to tell me what to do? Maybe I do. We all want people to tell us what to do, don't we? Well, maybe not all of us. But it can also be poetic or persuasive or descriptive or technical, or satirical, if you like that kind of thing. And the end goal I've put on here is I want to learn something. So please just, teach me a little bit. Help me transform. Okay, so those are the goals that I've put on there. And ultimately, yes, I do want to actually go have some of these other outcomes, but especially for this conversation, it's just going to be very generic, very, very clear on that. Output, just the default short output, no problem. And then the output on here, normal. That's it, nothing special, doesn't have to be. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and type in a question. Well, here's one I made earlier. Right, so I'm just going to read that out on there. You're a professional business coach and mentor. I am your client, and I'm thinking about going into business for myself. Your role is to help me brainstorm what I should do and how to go about it. Assess my readiness and make recommendations. Now remember, assessing the skills, that's a different thing which I may do next week or touch on next week. But I'm talking about whether I'm ready. And, you can be more specific here about the state of mind or state of your finances, the state of your physical and mental well-being even. You can focus it on specific items as well. I've played it a little bit more general. Let's start with the following topic: understanding your strengths and weaknesses. So this is directly from that mind map that I had. Okay, very simple. I put it in quotes: understanding your strengths and weaknesses. So that's what I'm looking for. I want to understand my strengths and weaknesses. Ask me 20 questions on this topic. Take my answers and ask any follow-up questions if required. Do you understand? Now, what else have I forgotten here? Maybe I want to put in, I want your recommendations as a plan of action, or at least the next 3 steps to take. Okay? Do you understand? Question mark. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. Pop that in there. Let's cross our fingers and let's see what Groove.AI comes up for us. Absolutely. Before we dive in, understanding strengths and weaknesses, let me commend you. It's been very supportive. Good. I was a little bit nervous with that, actually, asking a stranger what to do and how to do it, or at least ask me lots of questions. And yes, it's an exciting journey. Now let's focus on exploring blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's embark on this insightful journey together. Good. Well, I've just made a new friend today. All right. Now remember, this is to help me and my mindset to be able to then move on, make good decisions, and create good plans for my business, whatever that business is. So here, I'm just going to type in continue. Ba-bum. We've got a few more people coming into here. We've got Venus is from London, Bob is from Chicago, and Michael is from France. Oh, if that's the Michael that I know. Hey, bonjour, Michael. I hope you're well. And let's have a look on here. It's going to ask me 20 questions. Okay. What do you believe are your top 3 strengths in a professional setting? Okay. How have your strengths contributed to... Oh my God, there's loads of questions. Did I say that I don't like filling in forms? Well, okay. Let's answer a few questions, shall we? And it helps if I just put in, for example, number 1. Or if I just say, here are my answers. Number 1. Top 3 strengths in a professional setting. I can't say, I can't put down I'm funny. That doesn't really work in a professional setting. How about this? Communication, leadership, and the ability to speak in clear English. I'm sorry, Michael, I don't speak much French. All right, so that's answer to number 1. Number 2, all right, how have your strengths contributed to your previous... Do you see why this... I'm not going to answer all of the questions. It takes time because I need to think about these questions. When I did the practice run, there were slightly different questions, by the way. Okay. And also you can get it to actually go and generate another 20 questions, can't you? You just type in, give me more of this, or right click on the AI on there as well. Okay. So how have your strengths contributed to your previous work or projects? Well, communication. In terms of communication, leadership, ability to speak, one great example. In fact, I tell you what, I actually have this somewhere. And so what I'm going to do is I actually wrote a paragraph. It asked me a similar question previously when I was actually prepping for this. This is not all thrown together last minute, by the way, folks. All right, not much. Therefore, if I put in something like this one here. So one example would be in the Toastmasters International world, where meetings are forced online, and the leadership in my district were reeling. Only a handful of people had the skills and the vision to set up online meetings and contests. I led the team that delivered a season of successful contests, connecting with audiences, where I was MC for a lot of the larger contests. I even ran this, I didn't put this in, I even ran the teams behind the scenes and led the Zoom team for district, in I think 3 district. I actually ran a lot of the finals in there. Making the process smoother and for all concerned. Well, that's a very succinct way of putting what I'm doing. I was awarded the Toastmaster of the Year award for UK and Ireland. See, now, do you see what I'm doing here? In this particular scenario, you are allowed to blow your own horn, because this is therapeutic for you. This gives you this when you're feeling down, when you say, well, why did I ever start this? You come back to something like this, and this is what I used to do. I used to have books for people to fill in, and then go back and say, I am good at this. This is another thing I'm good at, because sometimes we forget. Okay, so in 2020 as a result. Okay, so now I've only answered 2 questions. It's taken me about 3.5 minutes to type that in, but you understand that you can go through these questions. So are the skills and qualities you possess that others often commend you for? I'm just going to put a simple yes. Let's see what we can do. On the flip side, less confident. Okay, now here you have to be honest with yourself and actually be open yourself up a little bit. Remember, nobody else is going to see this. Well, apart from the 15, 25, 55, 105 people going to watch this today. So number 4. Yes, I do often get too much into the details, and I sometimes procrastinate. If I can spell that right. Probably not. Okay. Number 5. How do you typically handle challenges or setbacks in your work? Well, I try to hide away from them. I do have some creative license here, folks, by the way. All right. I try to hide away from them. But when I do face them, I realize it wasn't as bad as I first thought. Okay, now look, I'm going to answer 5 questions. Let's just press enter there, and let's see what it gives us. Okay, now it says thank you for sharing. Okay, let's just scroll down. Let's take a look here. So it's repeating back to me all a lot of the good things that I've actually said, and also the things that the other things that are not so positive for me, but it's repeated them back to me. For example, overcoming challenges demonstrates resilience. Okay, based on your answers, here are 3 recommended steps. Leverage your strengths, address the procrastination, seek mentorship and support. I thought you were my mentor. Okay, well, it's my virtual mentor, right? Now, it's telling you why. It's giving you information why. All right. Now, I don't know what reaction for this is going to be. One of the things that how to Mark from outside the from Florida. All right, yeah, and yes, Michael is the French Buddha. Hope you're well, Michael. Look, folks, that was a very simple way in which I wanted you to understand that you can actually not only fill in the forms that you need to fill in, create the plans you need to create, but also to have that little bit of self-talk to help you deal with overwhelm, with confusion, with anxiety that we all feel now and again. All right, and one of the things that you can do is I did prompt it to ask me follow-up questions, and so what I would do is to actually just it just stopped reasonably abruptly, and so for example, what follow-up questions do you have for me? Okay, so great. Okay, so it gives me more. So you can ask it to actually give you more. How do you? And this is it's being very practical, isn't it? And this is what I told my family member. Write things down. Prioritize the tasks and responsibilities, and to highlight any deadlines or anything where you're working with people or you need information from people, etc. Okay, be very practical. That's what it's doing on here. Can you say a specific time when your attention to detail had a positive impact on a project or a task? I like that. I like that because what it's trying to do is to get you to feel good about a situation that you've dealt with before, that you've forgotten about. When you have pressure, when you have a lot of information thrown at you, you forget what you've achieved, what you've done, what you've overcome, problems that you had before, and then you managed to get over it and you managed to survive to this point. Even if things didn't go so well, at least you dealt with it and got through it in one way or the other. It's trying to build you up from inside out. Okay? What ways do you typically combat procrastination? So it's asking me, how do I deal with procrastination? Well, actually, what I do is I get up in the morning, I go for a 1 mile walk, and then I do that 3 times a day, and then in between I've got more energy and I'm fresher in my mind and in my body to go and tackle my list of things to do. There you go. That would be an answer. So it's trying to help you with practical things, but also trying to get up here to help you remember the good times, because at the moment you're only remembering bad times. All right. So this is a great way to actually, and people will say, well, what have you achieved, Nick? What I've achieved and what I achieved today, and I was able to calm down a 20-year-old who was struggling and was upset. I was able to give them, remind them of some of these things, because I am obviously, her mentor as well as being a father. But I gave her a practical solution in just using ChatGPT to say, here's the predicament I am in. This is a situation. You are my guide, you are my mentor, you are my whatever the role is. So imagine that it's a child talking to a teacher, a student talking to the professor, a worker talking to their supervisor or their manager. You are this. This is a situation. How can I help myself to get across and to develop a plan moving forward? We can't change what has happened in the past, right? We can only affect what we do in this 1 minute. From this minute onwards, we can make a change. Okay, what's my first step? What are my next 3 steps? And it gave them to me. It asked me questions to think about. Hey, do you remember a time you ever had, thought that the world was going to end? It was too embarrassing. You were out of your depth. It helps you center yourself and bring back those memories. This is why I say that it's not just good enough for us to learn about funnels and courses and landing pages and all of this kind of stuff. You have to understand what you're doing and why. What is in not just your mind, but you have to think about and be empathetic to the idea that you've got plenty of people out there who are looking at your content or looking at your websites or coming to your landing pages, looking at your adverts and coming along. What are they thinking? Or, obviously in business, what are they looking for? What solution are they looking for? And what is the problem that they have that they're looking for a solution? So this all comes back around to the idea of marketing, but you yourself have got to be in a positive and a proper state of mind to be able to think logically and clearly. Yes, we can be emotional, we can be excited, we can be thriving in that environment, but if there's overwhelm or if there's anxiety or if there's any of those things, and we all deal with things in a different way, just sometimes it may be good to talk to the Oracle, or in this case Groove.AI, and just say, hey, I'm feeling a bit down about this. What can I do to help myself feel better? I mean, literally, in plain English, that's what I've done with that. So, today's been the first stream for me on this channel for a while, as I said. What I would like to do is to come on regularly to talk about, it's not just mindset, it's about, for example, other things as well. One of the things that I want to do is to give ideas. I want to be thought-provoking and also to point to some of the tools that are out there that can help you as well. But more than anything, I want to encourage you to use the Groove.AI, to use AI tools in general more. It's not just to do, you have to understand why. That's the biggest thing. And if you can understand why you can use it and how you can use this to help you, then you'll be part of the 1%, for want of a better phrase, or the 5% or the 10%, who can actually leverage AI to help themselves and the people around them. That's what we're looking for. Now, lots of exciting things going on here today. We've got we've had Rob doing his normal weekly onboarding sessions, which I popped in and say hi on, and also we've got Mike coming on with some updates and some information, and I'm so excited for that. I can't wait. Like I said, check us out. My name has been Nick Lakhani, and I will see you in this same channel next week. Adios for now. Have a brilliant week. Enjoy the sessions, by the way. Enjoy Mike's session.